So I always thought hybrid was the way forward, but I hadn't considered how you actually atomize the workshop activities that you do. So I've heard of people doing hybrid models. So thank you, Stephen. What do I mean by hybrid? Basically, where you have people in person and also remote at the same time. But I haven't seen it work successfully or anything to convince me it will work successfully. Going back to what I said earlier, where people have just taken their in-person practices and just re-platformed them to remote, there's also the concern that people will re-platform them back to real and label them as hybrid. So something I did learn through listening to Atlassian's podcast, because they acquired Trello, who were a distributed team, and a rule that they made, which has prevented us from diving straight into hybrid, is that they say if one person's remote, everyone's remote. So that means even if everyone's in the same office and there's 4 or 2 people that are remote, everybody sits down at a machine and everyone engages in a similar experience. We ran a workshop a few weeks ago where we had some people remote and some people in the room, and it just naturally didn't feel right because they couldn't keep up with the conversation, plus they were doing other work. So unless people are 100% engaged in the experience, it makes it really hard to kind of juggle lots of different platforms. So I guess, in summary, I would not be just looking at the workshop activities. I would be abstracting that to a challenge of how might we ensure everybody is engaged during this decision-making or collaboration experience. And once you start thinking about that at that level, you don't lead with a tool, you lead with more of what is the experience, if that makes sense.